Hey, it's Greg Burdine, and we're in Route 66, day number 285. We get to start a brand new gospel. There's four gospels. Sometimes you might wonder, why did God put four gospels in there? Because they appeal to four different kinds of people. They kind of have a different emphasis. Matthew talked about Jesus being the king. Mark talks about Jesus being a servant. And as a matter of fact, it's the shortest gospel and it's action packed, fast, 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 fast. And so you're going to go through it quite a bit. And I love this gospel. So here's what we got. We have two chapters, the first two chapters in Mark. You notice the servant, nobody cares about a servant, how he was born, where he was born. There's nothing about Jesus' birth. He just comes on the scene. Mark chapter 1, John the Baptist prepares the way, and Jesus is baptized right away in the very first opening words of it. He's tempted. He begins his Galilean ministry. In other words, the first chapter isn't even done, and Jesus is off and running. He calls his first disciples. He casts out some demons. He's already working miracles, healing the sick and preaching with authority. So you get right into the ministry serving of Jesus right away. And then in Mark chapter 2, Jesus continues his healing ministry by healing a paralyzed man. Not only healing him physically, he heals him spiritually by forgiving his sin. Shows that his authority is divine because, and the religious leaders had it right, only God can forgive, and Jesus forgave. He calls Levi, which we're probably more familiar with him being Matthew, the human writer of the first gospel. He calls him to be a follower. He's a tax collector. And Jesus dines with sinners, tax collectors, harlots, different people like that, people that were not the religiously, proper people. Jesus ate with them and had company with them. This teaches us that Jesus came for anybody who needed spiritual healing. In fact, at one time he said, if you're sick, you go to a doctor. That's what doctors are. Jesus is a doctor, and he needs sick people to come to him, sick physically and sick spiritually. He's questioned about fasting. He's also questioned about the Sabbath, which reveals that he is the Lord over everything. So, three applications, three lessons that you can pull out of this, maybe just to give you something to kind of hang on to remember. Number one, Jesus has authority over every area of life. Jesus commands sickness. Jesus commands sin. Jesus even commands the Sabbath. Jesus is Lord over everything. And the sooner we admit it and live knowing that Jesus is Lord of everything, the better life will be. Second lesson is grace reaches often to those who are overlooked. Jesus came for everybody. Let's make no mistake about this. Jesus came for everybody. But for some reason, he often calls the imperfect, unlikely people to follow him, like Matthew. Uh, Somebody that was caught up in money, somebody that was caught up in the things that were going on, and nobody thought that he would never have made a good apostle, what people thought. But Jesus saw something in him. Jesus looks for people who other people often overlook. And a third lesson, faith will always find a way to reach people. I love the story where the friends lowered their paralyzed friend through the roof to meet Jesus. And they had faith. They said, if we can just get him to Jesus, he'll be okay. Faith can move mountains. And we need to have faith in who Jesus is, in the hope that he's going to take care of it. So some good lessons that you're going to be reading about today. I was talking with somebody just the other day. I just love the Gospels because they